Hey folks, well we're getting close to the end. I did some rough math. We probably have about 1,000 acres to go right now. We should, so we're down south at Wordsworth right now. We're on my last field, the 357P. They're way over there somewhere. There's a bit of a hill in the middle, and there's a nice flat spot over there. They did all the messing around. There's a bunch of bluffs over here and a pasture, and it usually yields really well there because we don't have sectional control, and we end up with a lot of overlap in there. But also the problem is you end up losing the grain carts or whatever in the middle of the night. So we try and do that during the day. So between that field and this field, it worked out to be 640 acres, like almost on the pins. So it's been good. I'm very impressed with this 357. So we've grown 233 for several years, and it's been a good crop to us. The only issue is Invigor is looking at phasing it out. Now they bring in that's the 200 series. They bring in the 300 series, and almost all of them have like club root resistance, and about the 357 is supposed to be, it is, after seeing it, it's a bigger, stockier plant. It's supposed to have a little better pod integrity. There was a vicious windstorm came through here. I searched around, I couldn't find any dropped pods, so that's good. It threshes quite nice. It does look a little greener than the 233. You know, maybe it's not fully like the stalks aren't fully cured yet, but the pods are nice and dry. It's actually, and it's standing up really nice. A lot of times on this quarter or half section, this section didn't get broken until like into the late 60s, 70s. So it's a very rich land, a lot of rocks, but rich land, and it produces quite well. The problem is that sometimes it makes the crop go flat. It went very flat here a couple years ago with 233, and this year it's standing up really nice. So overall, I'm very impressed with it. As far as yield, well, it's yielding about the same as 233. I had about a 45 or 40 acre chunk on the east corner of this piece, and it was a kind of test strip. It's off on its own. Oh. All right, so Dad called in the middle. We had the test. I call it a test strip. It's not a true test strip, but the field was treated exactly the same as everything else. That 233 over there and this 357 both yield right around the same, which is, we're getting near average, like probably 10% below average crops this year. So I really can't be disappointed at all, at all, because we're hearing guys that are getting 2-3 bushel an acre, not 150 kilometers away. So we're doing very, very, very well. And I can't stress that enough. And I'm not saying it's got anything to do with what we've done, aside from that we chose to farm here. And that's just straight up luck. So it's averaging the same. I think based on the plant stand and everything, like it just looks like it ran out of water. Having said that, it's really, really impressive because it was flowering, and it was flowering when it was screaming hot, like 35 degrees for almost 10 days, and that's when it was flowering. A lot of times those flowers just fizzle out, they don't get pollinated, and then the pods get aborted, stuff like that. No, some of the pods didn't fill right to the top. But wow, it's a promising looking crop. I'm gonna definitely put some in next year. Hope for a little more rain. We'll probably treat it the same. Maybe even we'll see what fertilizer prices do. With any luck, we'll be able to give it a little more go, or maybe we can figure out a way to do some top dressing. I'm wanting to buy a pull type floater. We'll see what happens in the off season. We got to do we got a lot of upgrades coming in the next couple of years here, so we got to sit down and between me and Dad and figure out what we're going to do, when we're going to do it, and when he wants to retire. Hopefully not for a long time, because I love farming with him. I love having him around. I know he likes to farm. I don't want him to feel at all ever pressured out. I want him to have fun. That's why I'm doing all the bitch work. And there's one thing I've noticed is that a lot of old farmers, it seems like once they retire, within 10 years they're dead. So I figure if I keep him working, he can't retire, he's immortal. We'll try that. So anyways, 357 I'm very impressed with, despite the fact that it looked like there should be more to it. I just think that it ran out of moisture. When it's hot like that, man, it's so hard to know like how well your canola is going to do. So we're going to finish this 357. I think there's only about 100 and I think they said there's 150 or 160 over here, and I think there's another 10 or 12 of that 233, just a couple low spots. Yeah, we'll once we're done that, so I'm guessing mid to late afternoon, we'll move. We're gonna go east of town. I've got a half section there of 233, and that's it for me. That's the end of my crops. So potentially tomorrow evening I could be done. And then we're gonna go, and we're gonna go over on the northwest side of town where the main farm is, and Dad's got another 100 or so acres of 233 on the one field, and then he's got a quarter of it, so what, that 260 acres there, and then a half section, it's like 305 acres or 302 acres or something like that, of 357 to finish up. So for what's left right here, we've got 160 acres. We'll do a lot of rounding here, and then my next half is, we'll call it 290. So that's 450 acres. So I've got 450. We'll remember that number. Dad has 305 on the half section of 357, and then another 150. So we'll call that 455. And then we're ballparking here, but another 100 over there of 233, which is, what did I just say, 455 I think, plus 100 is 550. So 555, we're right around 1,000 acres to go. Now typically, if we're having really good days, the way I look at it is we should get 300 acres in a day. That's a good day. That's no major hiccups. Okay, you break a knife section, this, that, the other, minor stuff. Don't worry about it. Between the two combines, we should at 35-foot headers, and how fast we push our machines, and how heavy the crop is, all that. But typically, average, we like to look for 150 acres per machine per day. So right around 300 acres is a good day. Typically, that's, we're getting going around 9, 10 a.m. and we're going till 10, 11 at night, sometimes midnight. If we get going really early, like 8. Not all that common anymore. And if we can, if we can have like a 8 to midnight kind of day, we can easily knock out 350. It's very rare we do 400 acres in a day. There's a lot of things that have to go right. Now, as far as going right, it's like no breakdowns. You need a fairly wide open field. You need, no moves in the middle. You got to start, you got to start early. Like, it's not something that you can just say you got a 500 acre field, but you moved in and did 160 the day before. Well, okay, well, you know what I mean? Like, to get a 400 acre day for us, you need a dry night. You need a nice breeze like this. This really helps. No breakdowns. Fairly wide open field. And yeah, good conditions. Like, it can't be chewy. It can't. So there's a lot that has to go right to get a 400 acre day. We don't ever bank on that. Having said that, like I said, we got 1,000 acres. We're looking around 3 and a bit days. We got 2 significant moves and 1 short move in there. So we're looking possibly 4 days, which today I think is Thursday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Should get done Sunday. But there's, like I said, if we have a major breakdown, not good. So I don't like saying stuff like that, but we're just ballparking it. Either way, it's a lovely day. It's going to be hot-ish, 27. And yeah, we're going to keep doing some canola. We sent a bunch of our wheat samples out already. So we sent some to Viterra, and I've got P&H picking some up today, and I got Ceres picking some up. They're coming right here today. So we just want to make sure everybody's getting, they send it away and they test for HVK and protein and moisture content. And we just want to make sure everybody's on the same page. As well, durum gets sent away for special grading. And with the price of durum, like, we want to make sure we're getting a fair grade. So it's not that we're pitting each other or these guys against each other. It's that we want to make sure that something, things fail. That's going to happen. And say we get a bad reading on our durum and it says it's 4 or 5 and it's actually a 3. Well, that could be, we've got 50-some thousand bushels. So, if it's $1 a bushel difference between a 3 and a 5, that's a $50,000 mistake on their end that costs us. So I always like to send it to 2 or 3 different places just to make sure we're getting similar numbers, just to make sure I have confidence in all the labs.